Good morning, happy day, happy Sunday to you. Coffee. It's still full too. Slept in a little bit this morning. I'll share that in a moment. Good morning to you. Welcome to the Daily Dose, episode number 98. Mark Avens here, creator of the Daily Dose. I'm also the creator of the Lean Body Breakthrough. It is a custom online coaching program that I put together about 3 years ago. And the Lean Body Breakthrough coaching program is specifically designed for moms and dads who are struggling, like a lot of people, to lose weight and to get in better shape, to get healthier, to be their absolute best, and to do so specifically without long workouts and impossible diets, because there's just nothing worse than having to do long workouts that you don't have time for, or impossible diets that just aren't sustainable, right? Aren't flexible, aren't sustainable. And that's what we're really going to talk about a little bit this morning. It's a Sunday morning. I had the Tower Garden. There's nothing in it, so it's not worth showing you yet. I showed it to you maybe a week ago. I have my little seedlings that are growing, and they're getting bigger too. I'll show them next week. So if you've been following along, I got this Tower Garden growing, and the water went on. It sounds like there's a waterfall in my backyard. It's so awesome. But the talk today we're going to talk about is what to do when the wheels come completely off with your weight loss efforts. And that's, why do I talk about it Sunday? Why do you think? This is not my first time doing this. Is typically what happens on Sundays and Mondays is, one of two things. Is you enjoy yourself and you know how to work through the weekends, and you got it set up and you had a plan and you had action steps to, make sure you don't go off the rails. And maybe you're already in really great shape. If you're in great shape and you're dialed in with your nutrition and your workouts, chances are this message isn't for you. If you're maybe in your 20s and you know that you can go off the rails and, binge eat and drink and do all that stuff and then turn yourself around by Tuesday, you'll be back to regular self. This message isn't for you. But if you're like a lot of my viewers, if you're right now listening to me and you're maybe in that over 40, you had teenagers like me, I'm tired, not because I party, because I went and picked up my son at about midnight last night he was at a friend's house, just maybe 10 to 15 minutes away, but I don't go to bed that late. There was some fireworks shooting off. It was loud too. So it definitely was about 3 hours past my bedtime. But that's why I'm a little groggy, and I would say I got the coffee in here. I'm just being real with you, just being completely real with you. So what do you do when the wheels come completely off? And maybe for you, if you're that struggling parent in their 40s, have teenagers, and maybe it's parties. My son had his 17th birthday yesterday, and it was very different because we typically have a lot of people over, and people obviously more cautious. It just felt a little bit different, like the last couple of months have been. So, what happens on Sunday is, after a weekend, Friday, maybe let loose a little bit, kind of let off the reins on your kind of habits that you're built up for the week. You're eating really well. You prepped some good foods. You knew the holiday was going to come around. And, despite your best efforts, you kind of went off the rails, if you will, or the wheels came off, so to speak, right? Hence the title. So the wheels come off. What does it look like? Well, you said you're only going to have maybe one drink and you had 4 drinks, or you said you weren't going to have any extra sweets, or you weren't going to eat too much, or you're going to only have 2 meals, or you're going to kind of limit the carbs, and the carbs said, no, it's the weekend, no limits on carbs on the weekend. So again, if this sounds like you, this is a message for you. Is with that, what do you do now? What do you do? Well, here's the thing. One of the things I've learned in my personal health journey, and a lot of in my personal relationship journey and business journey and all those, lots of journeys, right? If you're in your 40s, chances are you're on many journeys right now. Parenting journey is, you're going to screw up, you're going to mess up. And it's the difference in how you respond, like what happens next, really can truly be what defines who you are, or what happens in the next step, your next action step. So we first have to acknowledge that we all mess up, right? We all have those kind of failed attempts, if you will, failed attempts. Despite your best attempt through the weekend, man, I just messed up. I ate all good, and I probably put on another, I probably added in that extra 2,000 calories over the weekend, and that's then why you're frustrated, because then you're going to get on the scale Monday and it's not going to be kind to you, right? I totally get it. So one of the things I want to share with you is what happens when you mess up. Like, what do we do? So again, first you got to respond to it, right? And the beautiful thing about it is why I think I love Monday so much is that, and any day, really, every day is kind of a new day, right? A day to start fresh. But even if you've had those failed attempts on the weekends, you can start fresh. And today, you can start fresh today. You can actually clear out maybe the junk that's in your house that's left over from last night. Maybe remove all of those temptations, give them away. If you have teenagers, you don't have to worry about that. They'll eat them. They'll have their friends over and they'll eat up all the junk food. So, that's a good coffee. Just want to say, I'll tell you what, you want to know what's in my cup too. You're probably curious what kind of coffee I drink. Starbucks just doesn't do it for me, like Starbucks brand. I'm a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Ooh, Dunkin' Donuts, just like they get 3 bags. I think it's like $19 for 3 bags and it lasts for a while. Really, really good. So I got my coffee. It's awesome stuff. But the big thing is to not let your past failures block you from what lies ahead. Truly what lies ahead. The anticipation. You get anticipation of what's next. But unfortunately what happens is a lot of times when we mess up and we have those failed attempts, we're like, oh no, not again. Oh no, not again. We did it again. Then we get down on ourselves, and then that may cause you into this downward spiral, kind of going down and down and down. And really want to share with you just kind of, I got into a book, and actually why I got inspired from this, I just started reading, and I don't know if you're a reader. I've been listening to books and reading books and kind of combination, depending on how much screen time. Sometimes I just want to listen and not look at anything. I started reading Bob Goff, and it's called, Bob Goff has a new book. He's great. He's just a great writer. And he wrote Dream Big. That's a new book if you haven't seen it. I think it's a bestseller. It already came out. It's one of the, it's going to be a New York Times bestseller. And it's really cool because he asks what you want, how you want, and something like that. It was basically Dream Big. I don't know the whole title, but I started reading it. It was really awesome. And it's the big question, what do you really, when it comes to, let's just talk health now. You can go back and check that book out. But when it comes to being healthy, being fit, losing weight, what do you really, really, here's my question. Okay, Mark, I want to lose weight. I want to, what are you really, really, really trying to get out of it? What's the real purpose of the weight loss? What is, if you have 30, 40, 50 pounds to lose, let's just say, why do you truly want to lose that weight? If you could get in touch with that. It's, in other words, if you have big dreams, big aspirations, and I do, and I love having the anticipation of working towards something greater, bigger, things that I can't even imagine. And it's taken some beatings over the years to find out that you can really, the only limitations you place are the ones you put on yourself, right? The limitations that you'll have in your life are the ones that you put in yourself. And you see it because you see people doing some amazing things, and you're like, how did that person do that? And I used to be like, I could never do something like that, to, okay, what are they doing? Because I want to know what they're doing so that I can do something like that. That's truly amazing. And maybe that's where you're at, and you're saying, you know what? The focus for me has been just trying to lose weight rather than maybe why. What is it that what are you really trying to achieve? Could it be that you want to be a really good example for your children, that you get your body and your health in the best shape possible so that you can be the best version of yourself, so you can let your kids see that in the next generations and generations to come, to be that example? That could be maybe one thing. What is the other? Excuse me. If you think of yourself okay, what is it that you're truly wanting from losing weight? What is it that you truly want? Do you want to be able to do really more active things? Maybe you haven't been able to run because you've been overweight, or you hurt your body, or there's things you just simply can't do when your body's at a certain size. And again, I'm gonna see what we have in here. Awesome. Yeah, one key, checking it out. For someone who is truly in that hole and has an excuse for everything, how do you help them? Is there one key response to get them to be more aware of the negative? Yeah, good question. So in the hole, and I'm going to answer that. That's good, because I think what happens is we get so stuck, and what becomes familiar is what we tend to fall back on. And what we get familiar, and I talked about this in the past, is things that try to fill the void when we start to get upset with ourselves as far as going through and having those moments when the wheels come off. And then what makes us feel better typically isn't really better for us, but it's like a temporary fix to make it feel better. And that could be food related, it could be laziness, it could be in relationships, it could be in saboteurs that are people. I talked about that the other day, about the people you spend time with. There's a support system that's necessary. And I know a lot of people do not have that support system. In fact, they have a system that they're involved in, maybe relationships, friends, so forth, that really try to pull them down. They don't mean to, but they just like the current version of you, and they don't want that to change. So that could be one of the things. Natosha, I think that if you're wondering what that is, but really like the big question, what are you really trying to achieve with it? You know, I always try to dig deeper with people and say, well, why are you reaching out? Why do you want my help? Why? Like, I know how to help people. I can help people lose weight. I can help them get stronger and fit. I've been doing it for 25 years. It's not a matter of that. But to make it a permanent, to not make it a weekly kind of like you climbing up the ladder, trying to do things, and then you like slide down the ladder and fall off on the weekends, right? And 4th of July weekend and holiday weekends and birthday weekends and girls weekends and vacation weekends and stressful weekends and, you know, all those types of weekends that come, or even days in general that just get in your way and just you end up just being on this complete like struggle bus every week in and week out. The big thing for me, and I can say to share with this, the negative is to realize that for me personally, I would say, and this is faith related, because I never really truly realized my full potential until I got, and this is in the book too, and it just popped in my mind too. I didn't really truly realize my full potential until I got up on Jesus's shoulders and I looked, if that makes sense. So when you look at your vantage point, right, think about this. If you're looking at your vantage point and you're seeing the potential for your life, and I'm not just talking about weight, it can be everything related, life, relationships, you know, all of the aspirations that you have and the desires that you have in your life and things, and you're looking at your vantage point. And then when I realized that God has much more planned for my life, and how did I figure that out, is I actually got up on Jesus's shoulders and looked around. And I'm like, oh my goodness, there's a whole different world up here from this vantage point. And again, this is not saying whether you have faith or not, that's between you and you. But I can just say for me personally, the biggest driving force for me when it comes to looking at when the wheels come off, you know, like the wheels, not just on a weekend, but when I feel maybe not good enough, I feel like I'm screwing up as a parent, maybe relationship problems, having those difficulties, maybe my health not as in the right direction. I like, okay, I'm looking, and I can only see this. And for me in my business, I jumped on the shoulders of a business mentor. I hired a business coach. People hire me as their fitness coach and their mentor so that they can get up on my shoulders. They can stand up on my shoulders and get a different vantage point of like, wow, I didn't know losing weight is not that hard when you do the right things. And I didn't know that it didn't have to be extreme. I didn't know that I actually can still eat the food that I want to eat and enjoy life and enjoy a glass or two of wine. And holy cow, Mark, standing on your shoulders, I didn't realize that you didn't need to work out for 2 hours a day. Wow, like that's truly like eye-opening. And like I'd said, for me, jumping on Jesus' shoulders and seeing by purpose, the same thing happens and can happen for you when it comes to looking at why you want to lose weight. Well, get beyond just fitting, in clothes a little bit better, and maybe seeing the number. Like if we could get our minds off of the number on the scale, I know that's such a driving force for people, but it really has no value, because honestly, does anybody go around asking you when you go walk around, hey, how much you weigh today? Unless it's your coach, unless you're working with a trainer or a coach. It's like, hey, what's the scale telling you today? Nobody's going to ask it. Nobody really cares, right? It's only between you and you, but I would say is if you can get into what is that weight going to do? If you are 50 pounds overweight, 40 pounds overweight, and you can get your body back into a healthy, your healthy BMI, healthy body fat, you're reducing the risk of so many health issues down the road. As you're getting older, your joints are going to be so much better off with less weight on, right? There's a billion things, right, that being healthier and in a healthy weight can do for you. But you got to be in touch with that why, right? So, and that'll help when you can start thinking about that. That could help prevent maybe those wheels from coming off the next time around, because it's the difference between what you want right now and what you want later. That's the kind of like the big thing is like, okay, if I don't focus on like the immediate right now, which we all do, myself included, is to look at what happens later on down the road is like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that could be so much better. And sometimes you don't know what that looks like. Sometimes it requires jumping on the shoulders of somebody like me who's been doing this with thousands of people over the past, 25 years. It's kind of crazy to think. More than half my life I spent helping people figure out their why, help them drive their why, not lose some weight, right? Does that make sense? I hope it does. So listen, I wanted to share with you. So my question is in this: are you dreaming big enough? Like, are you going to just try harder this week? The one thing I hope that you don't do this week is say, I'm just going to try harder. I hear that every week. Mark, I just need to try harder. I just need to try harder. I'm going to just try harder at this. No, stop trying harder. It's exhausting. In fact, it's going to wear you out. Trying harder is just going to wear you out. The next move would be for you to try smarter. Try smarter. You see, I've tried hard in my business for a long time, and it is interesting that for the last year and a half, I've had a business mentor, coach, who's been doing this for far longer than I have, and he's teaching me how to try smarter, how to do this and to run my business and grow my coaching business and do it smarter, not harder, because harder will wear you out, and then you'll just get frustrated and things don't work and the wheels will come off, right? Why do you think the wheels come off? Maybe you just tried really, really hard this week, and then maybe it wasn't good enough, and then you just kind of let the wheels fall off over the weekend because you were still just trying harder, not smarter. So that's my quest for you in this week coming up. And if you need to jump on the shoulders of somebody, hey, it's Sunday. There's lots of church services that are going on that if you're like, man, I haven't gone to church, but I know there's no churches open right now, and I haven't really kind of got in touch with that. And again, it could be any denomination that you so choose, or maybe you have a friend that's affiliated. There's a lot of online services. I'm going to be watching one right now in a short time. And it encourages me. What it helps to do is helps to bring me back up on the shoulders of Jesus, to look around and say, holy, look at this perspective. Look at the potential. There's a lot of things we can be looking at that can bring us down, that can pull us down, and it can help. Our wheels can be coming off, and they sometimes won't ever come back on. And I hope that never happens to you. My encouragement to you is, whether it's getting on the shoulders of Jesus or getting on the shoulders of, say, like a business coach, or say a fitness coach like me, who can help you get a better perspective of getting through the tough moments, getting through those weekends, having and ensuring that those wheels don't ever fall off. So that's all I have. Take care. God bless. This is episode number 98 of the Daily Dose. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a very, very blessed Sunday. We'll see you.